All right, no commands here. Let's talk about dot notation. Dot notation is really one of the core ideas that I worked on in Flask-Commands, and I wanted the notation and the relationships of the models to really stand out in your project. And I wanted that to happen because I personally have worked on projects and then come back months or even years later and been like, okay, what in the world was I thinking or what was I doing? And so um, I know when I come back to a project and it's well structured, it's just so pleasant to work with and you just feel good about it. And that's what I want to happen with Flask-Commands. I want you to come back to your project 6 months, a year later, and be like, oh, this is so nice. I can tell I made this with Flask-Commands. So dot notation happens a lot in make view. Over here in make controller and make model, we use Pascal case, so kind of camel case scenarios. But with make view, I needed a way to describe the relationships. And so instead of camel casing or something like that, I use dot notation. So you'll see things like we'll do Flask make view recipes.comments.index. So if you break apart the words between the dots, in this case you would have recipes, comments, and index. I'll often refer to those as segments. So you have 3 segments in this example. And this is going to make a lot more sense once we start it. So just try to just take in the verbiage for right now so that when I am later on in videos referencing things like a segment, you're like, what's a segment? You can come back to this video and be like, oh yeah, a segment is just the things between the dots. Now, segments can have kind of a meaning to them. Either a segment is a namespace, a segment is a resource, like a model, or a segment is an action. So in this example with recipes, comments, and index, I'm thinking of recipes as being a resource, comments as being a resource, and index as being an action. Whereas if I did something like admin recipes index, I would think admin as a namespace. I don't have a model named admin. I have a place where admins can see the recipes. That's what this would be representing. This is a admin view for seeing all the recipes because indexes all the models of that, in this case recipes. This would be a place where you could see all the comments on a particular recipe. So the folder, this really matters because the folder structure gets built out in your application in this way. So you're like, okay, I've got comments in my app, but they're comments on what? Well, when you use Flask-Commands, you're going to see that. You're going to see it in your routes. You're going to see it in your controllers. So you're gonna see it in your templates. It's gonna really stand out well. And so I wanted a place where you type this in, built out all these folder structures just the same way as you're typing in the command. So that for right now is dot notation. We'll come back to this many times later, but please use this as a reference. If you see the word segment, you're like, what is a segment? Namespace, resource, or action. This is where I'm building up this language.